Welcome back to the morning show on XL7 TV. It's time for This Week in Real Estate with Mr. Bob Zadora from Century 21 Lemac Realty, the Z Team. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Happy Father's Day to the two of yous and all of y'all that are out there that are watching.
Just another Hallmark holiday.
But it is a holiday nonetheless.
No, well, okay.
It is. Don't try to get into the restaurants. That'll be the biggest.
Oh my gosh. With everything that's going on in this area
It's
this week,
crowded.
It's going to be
It's going to be crowded. You get it's a big baseball tournament.
big baseball tournament.
Must be some sort of big motorcycle thing going on.
Oh, really? I
Yeah,
haven't
because
heard
there's a
anything about
lot of a bunch of trikes that are floating around.
Cruising
So I don't
around.
know if they're staying or what they're going to do. We have big event over in the park tomorrow with the music and stuff. There's
Which park? Hickory Park?
Hickory Park.
That's actually tonight as well.
Right, yeah,
It's
it's
the
a
three-day
three-day
thing.
event.
Yeah.
Right, that's what they kind of
Arkin
did.
Fest is what
They
they
decided to take the music on the square, and they just, instead of making it a Saturday here, Saturday there, they put them all together, and they went like that.
See how
I
it works,
hope it
or-
works out for them. God bless them.
The weather has not been the best, but
No, it hasn't. It hasn't. But fair festival people, they're not as concerned with the rain, you know.
Yeah.
So,
if you come prepared for it, it's not a bad deal
yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
And I'm more concerned about all the electronics on that stage than I am anything else.
That's true.
It'd
That's
get
true.
kind of crazy.
But they got the covers and stuff. So
We're gonna
drapes.
bring this out here this morning. The purpose of you being here every Friday,
Just to entertain you too.
Scooter does well enough of that on his own. So, however, you had to go there. I could have fun with that, but it's your dime.
That's true. That's
Speaking
true.
of which,
Yes.
The purpose of This Week in Real Estate is to bring people up to speed on what's happened the previous week in our area in the real estate. But it's also to promote not just the area, but to promote the Z Team and to promote Century 21 Lemac, because this is a paid position. I mean, you pay to do this show every week.
True.
And we appreciate that, but we need people to know that, yeah, we want to get the information out there. We want all this stuff to come out so they are knowledgeable of what's happening in our area. They also want them to pick up the phone and call 870-405-0793. Say, hey, I want to list my house, or hey, I'm looking to buy this over on such and such.
That's true.
I mean, you didn't ask for all this, but I'm
we
throwing
can't,
it out there anyway.
and we kind of forget that people do think that this is like I try to do as much community service as I can and do as much community service as I can from this place. It is a business. We try to get information out so that you can make a good informed decision. If you're thinking of buying or selling, you have something to base your decisions on, not just a gut feeling of Joe the barber who tells you, or Susie the waitress who tells you, oh, you can do this or you should do that.
Mm-hmm.
Get somebody who's been doing this for a while, and we have been doing this for a while. We're over 20 years now. And we do our best to help people make good decisions. I've told people not to buy houses. I have no trouble doing that. I've sat at the table and people are, well, I got to get. That's really a bad term. That was like from 12 when people were underwater with their things and they had taken equity loans out and bought RVs and boats and whatever. And I got to get, meaning that they had to make this much money and then have money to be able to go on to the next venture. And I would tell them, look, you already took the equity out. That's what that equity loan was. That's just what it says. It's an equity loan. And you've spent that money already. And to explain that to people, it isn't always what they want to hear, but it's the truth. It just is. To talk to people about buying, about selling, and to be realistic with them, sit at the kitchen table and be realistic about what the house is worth. I do this every week, telling you where the market is, where the average sale price is, where things are going, which direction it's going, where the interest rates are, how that impacts the market. All of those types of things, it's not 2021 anymore. People aren't just lined up buying houses sight unseen. There's 478 houses for sale. that you can walk in and buy. That's not counting the ones that are like under contract that are taking backups or anything else. That 478, and we haven't been that high in over 10 years. That's a big change in this market here. And so you see that in the smarter sellers that are reducing the price or coming on the market at a reasonable price, and then the houses are selling right away. Market's still moving, not as fast, but it's still moving. And people still want to come here, but they're not able to get as much money where they're selling their home at when they come here, so hence they don't want to spend as much money here. People from other places, as they're coming here, they think that, oh, it's Arkansas, like everything should be $150,000. It's really kind of strange. Where they get that from, I don't know. But that's one of the things that we run into with buyers. With sellers, and I'll tell sellers, I'll sit at the table with them and I'll tell them, look, you've got your number. You're telling me this house is worth this much, or you want to get this much. And that's just not going to happen. The market, it's not Bob's not going to get you that much money. The market's not going to give you that much money. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell them I can put 5 people in this chair that'll tell you, oh yeah, we can get that, sign this contract, and then they're done. They got the contract. If somebody stumbles into the place, then
they'll make their money.
That's right, and they can go back and tell the boss, "Oh, boss, look what I got! I got a listing. And that's not the way Jewel works at all. It's not the way we work. We don't take them just to take them and let them sit and spend money on advertising, doing all the things that we do to help sell these properties, knowing that it's not going to happen. Sometimes we'll get that with one spouse wants to go, one spouse wants to stay. And it goes both ways, the men and the women. It's kind of a funny dichotomy there. And so the one will really want a lot more than they know. But, they got a general idea. And so they want way more than they knowing it, they're never going to get it. Talk to them about a price reduction. The ones that, well, Herb, maybe we should do this and let's get priced where we need to be. No, it'll be fine. Somebody's going to come and buy this house. And I sit there for 2 years, and they're able to continue fishing, or she's able to continue crafting, or whatever. Like I said, the different dynamics of things. And we're in the middle of that. So we try not to take those because it's just frustrating. Because the one spouse is on Linda saying, "How come we don't have any showings?" If your house is priced right, and you come on the market and it's ready to go, and you don't have a couple of showings the first week or so, you're just too high because they have too many other choices. It's turning into a buyer's market. And I think we're going to see that for a little while with the rates. I think will stay a buyer's market for a while. It was nice when it was a seller's market. And they were on top, and now it's all cyclical. It swings over here and then it swings over there. And we just try to keep them going forward.
Do you really know what a house is worth?
I can give you a pretty good idea. I mean, but you got to be there too. It's worth what someone's going to buy.
It's only worth what somebody's willing to sell it for and what somebody's willing to pay for it.
Yep.
And to top it all off, what the bank's going to loan on it.
That's the bigger thing, right? We get the appraisers. When the appraisers get involved in this stuff, that's really where we run into issues, Where
so you got to
even if they agree, because even if they do agree, buyer and the seller both agree that it's worth this much money, the bank who actually owns the house, the bank owns the house, not the guy who's buying it. The bank owns the house, and the bank sends who's supposed to be a neutral arbiter, but that's not always the case either. Comes out and he determines the value of that house for the bank to protect the bank's money, so that you, Mr. Buyer, can afford that much each month. It's not the cost of the house, it's the payment of the house. It's what it costs you to keep the house. That's what everything is based on. And they can really throw a monkey wrench into the works. And then you get inspectors. For the most part, they're all real good. And things come up on inspections that nobody expected in an inspection, and they'll say, well, there was you get 3 rafters that are cracked upstairs. Who goes up in their attic to look and and see stuff like that? Or go down in the basement, in the crawl space, in the basement maybe, but in the crawl space and be poking around underneath there. Nobody does.
Yeah.
So they find the things, and sometimes the home may have been inspected a couple of years ago. The home may have sold and been inspected a couple of years ago, and things come up that you just didn't expect, and that's why.
Things change.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
You can drive your car this morning and go to town and everything be fine. You drive your car tomorrow morning and go to town and you may have a spark plug go out. You may have a flat tire. Your alternator may quit.
Yep.
Things change.
They do.
They
And
break.
you can plan for it all you want, but there ain't nothing you can do about it. I mean, it's just so that's really the pitch every week. Is we do what we can do to help you make good informed decisions whether you're buying or selling. But it's still a business. We're here to help you sell, and then we get paid for that, for our expertise, for what we do. But as you watch the show, because it can be frustrating, it can be aggravating to be talking to somebody and say, "Oh, I watch you all the time. Oh, I love your commercials. You do a great job. Why this and that," and then tell me that you just got a house down the street. I'm not asking for every house. Please don't misunderstand me, but just a courtesy call. Just a courtesy
Let's
call.
take a look at
That's
your
all.
numbers.
This week in real estate, there were, come on, come back here. Please. It took a refresh, and it doesn't always behave. There we go. This week in real estate, there were 66 new listings came on the market. 5 commercial properties, 12 parcels of land, 49 homes came on the market. They range in price from $39,000 to $995,000. 38 properties sold. A commercial property, 7 parcels of land, 30 homes sold. They range in price from $800,000 to $80,000. The average sale price this week was $269,000. 92 days on market, starting to stretch out a little bit. A total of $8 million in residential real estate closed this week. 7 properties expired. There were 38 residential price changes. Currently, there's 473 homes listed on the MLS. Year to date, for 2025, there's been 461 homes have sold. Average sale price is $257,000 with 93 days on market. Last year, there had been 497 homes that sold. Average sale price was $244 with 93 days on market. In 2023, there have been 450 sales with average sale price at $219. In 2022, there had been 543 homes that sold for $220,000 was the average sale price. In 2021, there had been 543 homes sold, and in 2020, 448. So you could see that COVID pop, really. There's been a lot of homes. There's a lot of people that are new to the area. We talk about different events going on in locations and stuff, and you can't just say, well, it's down by the old, so-and-so Baptist church. People don't know where things are, and people don't realize in their advertising. They have to let people know where these events are going on to turn out for it. So,
How do they get you?
you want to call my honey, do yourself a favor. Call my honey. She's at 870-405-0793. The website's retire2arkansas.net. But start with her, give her a call. You can call her, text her, and whatever works for you, and we'll get the ball rolling.
There you go. It's been This Week in Real Estate with Mr. Bob Zadora, Century 21, the Z Team. 870-405-0793 is the number. Retiredarkansas.net is their website. Go there, click on MLS listings, then pick up your phone, give them a call, 870-405-0793. This Week in Real Estate. We'll be back in just a little bit.